Hello guys! Welcome back to another English listening practice video. Today's story will help you learn new vocabulary and improve your comprehension naturally. Listen carefully and prepare to change your mindset with the story of the King of Pop, Michael Jackson. Long before the bright stadium lights and the roaring cheers of millions, a deep musical rhythm was born in a very humble place. In the quiet industrial city of Gary, Indiana, a large family lived inside a tiny three-room house on Jackson Street. The cold winter winds often shook the windows, and the daily struggles of making a living filled the atmosphere with heavy stress. Outside, the giant steel mills filled the sky with dark smoke, symbolizing a life of hard, endless physical labor. Inside this small home, a young boy named Michael Jackson looked out at the world with massive, observant eyes. Born in the late summer of 1958, he was the 8th of 10 children in a strict, working-class household. His father worked long hours at the steel plant, operating heavy machinery to provide basic food for the family table. But when the long workday ended, the small living room transformed into a beautiful sanctuary of soulful music and sweet melodies. His father played the guitar, and his mother sang old country songs, filling the tiny rooms with warmth and creative energy. Michael and his brothers would sit quietly on the floor, listening intensely to every single chord and vocal harmony. Even though the family lacked wealth, luxury, or fine clothes, a rare artistic magic began to grow inside the children. Michael, the youngest brother in the family band, possessed a brilliant internal rhythm that could not be taught. For any dedicated language learner, this initial chapter of his life carries a deeply inspiring and powerful modern lesson. True mastery and exceptional success do not require you to start your journey in a wealthy, perfect environment. They begin when you take the raw, limited materials around you and infuse them with absolute passion and daily focus. Your current living space or your temporary lack of resources cannot limit the incredible music your mind can create. By the time Michael was only 5 years old, his mother noticed that his tiny feet moved perfectly to the radio's beat. His voice carried a surprising, soulful maturity that made adults stop whatever they were doing just to listen. He joined his older brothers to form a singing group, spending every evening practicing complex dance steps on the living room rug. While other children played outside in the streets, Michael was quietly laying the foundation for a legendary global journey. They packed themselves into a crowded family car, driving through dark highways for hours just to perform for a few minutes. Every single dollar earned from these small performances went directly toward paying for gas and fixing their instruments. While these early trips seemed like an exciting adventure, they required an intense, grueling amount of daily discipline. Michael's father was an incredibly strict manager who demanded absolute, flawless perfection from every single son on stage. The brothers spent hours after school practicing the exact same dance routine over and over until their legs ached. For young Michael, this meant his ordinary childhood was replaced by the demanding schedule of a professional worker. He watched elite adult musicians intensely, learning how they held the microphone and controlled their vocal breathing. He was developing an extraordinary work ethic, realizing early on that natural talent is nothing without constant practice. There will be moments when you must choose the quiet discipline of study over the easy comfort of temporary entertainment. By 1969, the incredible dedication of the young group finally caught the attention of major record labels. At just 11 years old, Michael was about to be thrust into a massive, blinding spotlight that would change his life forever. The transition to California opened up a dazzling world of bright television lights, massive arenas, and roaring crowds. The Jackson 5 instantly captured the heart of the entire nation, releasing 4 consecutive #1 hit songs. People were absolutely mesmerized by the group, but everyone's eyes kept returning to the smallest boy on the stage. Michael moved with the fluid grace of an experienced dancer and sang with an emotional depth far beyond his years. Despite the overwhelming group's success, Michael began to feel a quiet, powerful pull toward a deeper artistic destiny. He loved performing alongside his brothers, but his creative mind was constantly dreaming of entirely new sounds. He spent his rare days off sitting quietly in the corners of professional recording studios, watching the audio engineers. He asked endless questions about microphones, sound frequencies, and how instruments were mixed together to create emotion. In 1979, at the age of 21, Michael finally stepped out on his own to release a solo album called Off the Wall. Working with the legendary music producer Quincy Jones, he blended pop, funk, and soul into a unique, joyful rhythm. The album became a massive commercial triumph, selling millions of copies and winning his very first Grammy Award. Yet, while the entire music industry celebrated this incredible achievement, Michael was secretly dissatisfied. For an intermediate English learner, Michael's burning desire to push higher offers an essential mindset lesson. When you reach a comfortable milestone in your learning journey, it is very easy to settle down and stop pushing. True champions do not stop growing just because they have achieved a basic level of proficiency or praise. They look at their current success as a solid stepping stone, motivating them to reach for their ultimate potential. Michael looked at the charts and promised himself that his next musical creation would completely overshadow everything before it. He wanted to create a universal album where every single track was a masterpiece that could unite people globally. He went back into the studio with absolute focus, ready to paint a historic masterpiece on the canvas of time. In the late autumn of 1982, Michael released the historic album Thriller Into a Changing World. He had spent months working day and night, meticulously perfecting every bass line, vocal layer, and drum beat. The result was a brilliant, explosive sonic masterpiece that broke through traditional racial and cultural barriers instantly. Radio stations across the globe played his new tracks on a continuous loop, completely mesmerizing listeners everywhere. But Michael understood that the modern era required a visual revolution to match his unique musical sounds. He completely redefined the concept of music videos, transforming them into high-budget, dramatic mini-movies with real storylines. When the 13-minute video for the title track debuted on television, it fundamentally changed global entertainment forever. People gathered in large crowds around television screens just to watch his incredible dancing and cinematic storytelling. The peak of this cultural explosion occurred during a legendary television performance in the spring of 1983. As he performed his hit song Billie Jean, Michael suddenly glided effortlessly backward across the stage floor. It looked as though he was walking forward while moving backward, completely defying the laws of human physics. This iconic dance move, known globally as the moonwalk, instantly cemented his status as a legendary cultural icon. For any language learner, this monumental chapter of his career offers a highly profound creative lesson. True success happens when you possess the courage to innovate and express your unique vision in a completely new way. Do not simply copy what everyone else is doing. Find your personal rhythm and bring your original style to the table. When you combine deep technical skill with your unique personality, you create something truly unforgettable. Thriller quickly climbed the charts to become the best-selling album in the entire history of planet Earth. Michael was no longer just a popular American pop star. He had become a transcendent global phenomenon. He was invited to the White House, won a record-breaking 8 Grammy Awards in a single night, and filled stadiums worldwide. Yet underneath the heavy golden trophies and the blinding camera flashes, a deeply lonely young man remained. With the unprecedented success of Thriller, Michael was officially crowned the king of pop by the global public. Every single place he traveled turned into a scene of absolute chaos, with thousands of fans blocking city streets. He could no longer walk into a regular grocery store, sit in a public park, or enjoy a quiet dinner outside. His life was now completely surrounded by heavy security guards, dark-tinted windows, and constant paparazzi cameras. This intense, suffocating level of global fame created a profound sense of isolation for the young superstar. Because he had spent his entire childhood working in recording studios, he missed out on standard social experiences. He often confessed to feeling deeply lonely, trapped inside luxury hotel suites while millions cheered his name outside. To escape this pressure, he began creating his own private sanctuary, a massive estate he named Neverland Valley Ranch. Neverland was designed to look like a magical amusement park, complete with a private zoo, a Ferris wheel, and a cinema. It was a physical manifestation of the childhood he never had, a place where he could finally feel safe and free. He frequently opened the gates of his beautiful home to sick, disadvantaged, and underprivileged children from around the world. He wanted to use his immense wealth to bring pure joy to those who were suffering from pain or illness. For an intermediate English learner, This complex chapter of his life offers a deeply meaningful perspective on success. Achieving your biggest external goals will often bring a completely new set of heavy challenges and personal pressures. True balance requires you to nurture your internal peace and mental well-being just as much as your public achievements. Never lose sight of who you are on the inside, even when the external world is constantly demanding your energy. Despite the intense personal isolation, Michael remained completely dedicated to his artistic craft and global humanitarian work. He used his immense platform to write powerful anthems about saving the environment, ending poverty, and uniting humanity. He co-wrote the famous charity song, "We Are the World," raising tens of millions of dollars for famine relief in Africa. He proved that a true artist does not just entertain the public, but actively works to heal the wounds of the world. As the decades rolled on, the heavy physical toll of a lifetime under the spotlight began to show. Years of grueling dance performances had broken down his body, leaving him in constant, severe physical pain. Yet, even when his health faded, his absolute dedication to his global fans never wavered for a single second. In the summer of 2009, while preparing for a massive comeback tour, his heart finally stopped beating. The sudden news of his passing shook the entire world, causing major internet networks to instantly crash from the traffic. Millions of heartbroken fans gathered in public squares globally, lighting candles and singing his songs through tears. The little boy from Gary, Indiana, who had practiced until his legs ached, had left an indelible mark on human history. He had shown the world that music is a universal language that can break barriers and heal hearts. His true legacy does not lie in the millions of records sold or the golden trophies sitting in glass cases. It lives on every time a young dancer attempts the moonwalk or a singer tries to capture his unique vocal rhythm. He proved that with absolute dedication, meticulous practice, and an unshakable vision, a person can change the world. The physical stage may now be empty, but the bright light of his timeless artistry will shine forever. For every language learner standing at the end of this journey, this final chapter holds the ultimate inspiration. Your hard work, your quiet late-night studies, and your persistent efforts are creating your own lasting legacy. Do not be afraid of the long road, the difficult grammar, or the moments when the progress feels completely invisible. Keep practicing your craft, hold on to your internal fire, and you will eventually master your own unique voice. The passing of the King of Pop did not mark the end of his influence. Instead, it cemented his place as a permanent blueprint. Look closely at the biggest global music stars, the most viral music videos, and the massive stadium tours of today. The complex choreography, the cinematic visuals, and the grand stage production all trace back to his original innovations. He fundamentally changed the rules of how an artist connects with a global audience, rewriting the entertainment industry. Beyond the music, Michael's journey stands as a powerful testament to the pure, unyielding strength of human focus. He took the raw rhythm inside his soul and polished it through decades of relentless, daily practice until it was flawless. He showed us that genius is not simply born. It is earned through thousands of quiet hours when nobody is watching. His life proved that a single individual, armed with an unshakable vision, can echo across generations and cultures. This incredible dedication provides the ultimate spark of motivation for your own personal journey of growth. Whether you are mastering a new global language, learning complex code, or building your own digital brand, the formula remains identical. Success requires you to show up every single day, embrace the slow grind, and refine your skills with absolute pride. Do not worry about the critics or the size of the mountain ahead. Just focus on making your next step a masterpiece. The digital world we live in today has opened up vast, boundaryless oceans of opportunity for anyone willing to learn. You possess the tools, the platforms, and the access to share your unique voice and talents with the entire planet. Let Michael's legendary story remind you that your current circumstances do not define the ultimate limits of your future. Keep your eyes locked on the horizon. Trust the process of daily practice, and let your internal light shine brightly. The final curtain has fallen on his historic stage, but the beautiful rhythm he gifted to the world will never stop playing. Now, the microphone is in your hands, the open ocean is waiting, and it is time to launch your own expedition. Stay incredibly consistent, protect your unshakable focus, and step boldly forward to claim your own unique destiny. Every great journey in human history ultimately brings us back to a simple, quiet truth about our own potential. The historic explorers who crossed dark oceans and the legendary artists who shook the entire world shared a single trait. They did not possess magical powers. They simply possessed the absolute courage to believe in their own distant vision. They accepted the heavy risks, endured the painful isolation, and refused to let their fire be put out by critics. The massive digital landscape stretching out before you today is your own uncharted, deep blue ocean waiting to be conquered. The laptop on your desk and the tutorials you study are the modern ships that will carry you to new continents. You are no longer bound by geography, nor are you limited by the narrow expectations of those immediately around you. You have the unprecedented power to learn any skill, speak any global language, and build a magnificent global future. As we close this chapter, look back at the long road you have traveled and feel a deep sense of internal pride. Every single late-night study session and every small mistake you actively corrected has brought you to this moment. You are structurally stronger, technically sharper, and infinitely closer to your ultimate goals than when you first started. The slow, invisible hours of preparation are finally shifting, making way for your own bright morning of discovery. So, step up to the microphone of your life with absolute confidence and let your authentic voice ring out clearly. Keep your personal habits rock solid. Protect your unshakable focus from daily distractions, and never look back at the shore. The open water is calling, the global audience is waiting, and your unique destiny is officially ready to unfold. Go out there, launch your grand expedition, and show the entire world exactly what you are capable of achieving.